Hi everyone, and welcome to the Learning English Through Listening podcast with my co-host Sarah.
In this podcast, we're here to help you improve your English by listening to natural conversations. Today's topic is something we all love: traveling.
That's right. Traveling is such an exciting topic because it opens up so many opportunities to learn new things and meet new people. Ira, let me ask you this to get us started. What's your favorite travel destination and why?
Oh, that's a great question. I'd have to say my favorite travel destination is Japan. The culture is fascinating, the food is amazing, and there are so many beautiful places to visit, like Kyoto and Tokyo.
Japan sounds incredible. For me, I'd say my favorite destination is Italy. The history, the art, the food, everything about it is just so rich and vibrant. Plus, you can't beat a good gelato.
Absolutely. Now, let's dive into our conversation and highlight some useful vocabulary and phrases related to traveling. Elise, what's one essential travel tip you would give to someone who's traveling for the first time?
I'd say always make sure you have a good map or a navigation app. Knowing how to get around is crucial, especially in a new place. And remember to learn a few basic phrases in the local language. It shows respect and can be really helpful.
Great tips. Let's talk about some of those useful phrases. When you're traveling, you might need to ask for directions. A good phrase to know is, "Could you please tell me how to get to?" For example, "Could you please tell me how to get to the nearest train station?"
Yes, that's a very useful phrase. Another one is, "Do you have any recommendations for?" This is great for finding good places to eat or visit. Like, do you have any recommendations for a good restaurant nearby?
Speaking of restaurants, when you're ordering food, you can use the phrase, "I'd like to order." For example, "I'd like to order a coffee, please."
And if you're in a hotel and you need something, you could say, "Could you please send to my room?" Like, "Could you please send some extra towels to my room?"
These are all really handy phrases. Another thing to remember is how to talk about travel plans. You might hear questions like, "Where are you staying?" or "How long are you staying?" It's good to be able to answer those clearly.
Exactly. You could say, "I'm staying at the Grand Hotel," or "I'll be here for a week." Simple, clear answers are always best.
Now, Elise, have you ever had any travel mishaps? I think it's important to share those too because they're a part of the adventure.
Oh, definitely. One time, I lost my luggage when I arrived in Paris. It was a bit of a nightmare, but I learned to always keep some essentials in my carry-on bag just in case.
That's a great lesson. And it brings us to another useful phrase, "My luggage is lost." You can use this at the airport if you need help finding your bags.
Yes, and staying calm and polite always helps. People are usually more willing to help if you're patient and courteous.
Very true. So, to recap, today we talked about some favorite travel destinations, shared essential travel tips, and went over some useful travel phrases. We hope you found this episode helpful and that you're excited to use these phrases on your next trip.
Remember, practice makes perfect. Try using these phrases in your conversations, and soon they'll become second nature.
Before we wrap up, let's add a fun conversation between a husband and wife planning a trip to illustrate how these phrases can be used in real life.
Audio clip.
Hey honey, I've been thinking about our next vacation. Where do you want to go?
I'd love to visit Spain. I've always wanted to see Barcelona and Madrid.
That sounds amazing! Should we book a hotel in the city center?
Yes, definitely. It'll be easier to explore. Do you have any recommendations for hotels?
I've heard the Grand Hotel is nice and centrally located. Should we check the reviews online?
Good idea. Also, we should make a list of must-see places. I really want to visit the Sagrada Familia and Park Güell.
Absolutely! And let's not forget to try some authentic Spanish food. I'd like to order paella and churros.
Yum! We should also learn a few basic Spanish phrases. Like, "Could you please tell me how to get to?" and "Do you have any recommendations for a good restaurant?"
Great plan! I'll download a translation app just in case. And we should pack light. Remember what happened last time we lost our luggage?
How could I forget? This time, I'll keep essentials in my carry-on. It's going to be an amazing trip.
I can't wait! Let's start planning tonight!
What a fun conversation. It's always exciting to plan a trip and explore new places.
Let's recall vocabulary and phrases and listen example how to use it in our traveling.
Number 1. Could you please tell me how to get to? Example, could you please tell me how to get the nearest train station?
Number 2. Do you have any recommendations for? Example, do you have any recommendations for a good restaurant nearby?
Number 3. I'd like to order. Example, I'd like to order a coffee, please.
Number 4. Could you please send to my room? Example, could you please send some extra towels to my room?
Number 5. Where are you staying? Example, I'm staying at the Grand Hotel.
Number 6. How long are you staying? Example, I'll be here for a week.
Remember, these phrases are useful for various travel scenarios such as asking for directions, making recommendations, ordering food, requesting services at a hotel, and discussing travel plans. Practice using them in conversations to become more comfortable and confident when traveling.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and found our tips and phrases helpful for your next travel adventure. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and leave a review if you enjoyed this episode. We'd love to hear about your travel experiences and any other topics you'd like us to cover.
Safe travels, everyone. See you next time.